guys, so today I am working on the second part or part 2 of our two-tiered lantern. Now I have our two-tiered lantern right here, and I am going to be decorating the inside of this lantern. Now the decoration theme that I'm going for is kind of like a spring / Easter theme. It can be both. It can be spring and it can be Easter because we're going to be using these little Dollar Tree Easter bunnies. But we're not going to really make them Easter bunnies because we're going to spray paint them. So let's just give you a quick overview of all the supplies that you're going to need to replicate what I am doing. All right, so I have a lot of supplies here, so bear with me while I go through this with you. So first of all, we have the two little Dollar Tree Easter Bunny paint sets. So the ceramic painting set, and they're the little bunnies. I have 2 of them. I'm going to pull the bunnies out and spray paint the bunnies, so I'm not going to be using the paint. I have some hot glue. I have some more of this moss, and I used this on some other projects. This is kind of what I have left over. I'm hoping I have enough. I also have some foam. Now this is a piece of foam that came out of a box that we had purchased a TV in. So any kind of foam will do. You can actually even buy the foam from like the Dollar Tree, which that's what this is right here. This is the floral foam. I bought 1 2-pack like this, which I think I'm going to need even a little bit more than this. So that's why I grabbed another piece of foam that I had. It was in a TV that we had bought, and it was the foam that kind of holds the TV in place, and I just cut a chunk of it off. Then I have 2 of these little hummingbird. They're little, like, I don't know, they've got like little pins on the back. And these came from the Dollar Tree. And I've got these little butterflies, these little yellow colored butterflies. That came from the Dollar Tree. And then I have all of this floral, which I won't go through all of it because I did this already in a haul that we did. But I have a bunch of the floral. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use yet, but I'm probably going to use a mixture of what we have here. I also have like 3 things of cardboard, just plain cardboard from a cardboard box that I kind of just ripped apart. I also have ribbon. Now this is one of the ribbons that came from the Dollar Tree. This is the purple with the wire, so I'm going to use that one. Now I didn't want to make this too Easter-esque. I wanted it more to be spring. And I also had this one right here, which is like a white and sparkly pink polka dot ribbon. And this does not have the wire in it, but those other 2 do. So this is for the most part what you're going to need. You're also going to need some scissors, and you're probably going to need a pen or a pencil. But this is like the base of the items that you're going to need. So the first thing that we're going to do is I am actually going to pull these 2 little bunny rabbits out of the packaging, and I'm going to bring them down to my garage, and I'm going to spray paint them gold. And I'm going to use the same gold spray paint that I've used for everything, all of my other projects that I've done gold. I'm going to try to pull that little hook on the top of the head out without ruining it. We'll see how that turns out. All right, so yes, I was able to pull that little string and that little hook. It's a little hook like this that's just pushed down inside the ceramic head, and I just like wiggled it and pulled it out. So that's what you want, just the ceramic bunny. All right, I know I've showed this before, but this is the spray paint that I'm using. It's the Valspar Metallic Brilliant Metal Effects, and it's in the gold. And I just have these little bunnies sitting right on some cardboard here, and I am just going to spray paint these. And they should dry fairly quickly, so I'm thinking maybe within the next 20 minutes or so they'll be dry, and I can go up and finish working on the rest of the project. So there they are. I'm just going to let them dry, and then I'm going to go in and finish up. All right, guys, so the next thing that I'm going to do is while my little bunny rabbits are drying, I'm going to kind of get these flowers out of the way. And I'm going to take one of my pieces of cardboard here, and I'm going to take the bottom piece of my lantern. I'll take the top right off. I'm going to take the bottom piece, and I am going to trace out the shape of the bottom piece all around onto this bottom cardboard piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out that 5-sided piece of cardboard. So there's my 5-sided piece of cardboard right here. So this is going to be the bottom to the display that I'm doing right now. All right, so now I'm going to take a second piece of cardboard, and this cardboard had some bends in it, which is good, which is what I want. Because what I'm going to make is like a platform, because I want some height to what I'm putting inside this lantern. This lantern is going to be like a decorative scene inside. I'm just kind of going by eye just to kind of figure out what size I'm going to need. I'm going to need this to fit inside of my lantern, so I don't want to have it too big, but I want it big enough where you're going to be able to see it. Okay, so here we go. That looks pretty good, and that will sit nicely inside that shape. So we can just maybe throw a few pieces of tape on here, and then when my hot glue is heated up, then I'll probably hot glue it right to my shape, just like that. Okay, so I threw a few pieces of tape on here just to keep the shape together, and then I'm going to just hot glue this right onto my 5-sided bottom piece. And I want to make sure that it's fairly even, because when I set my lantern down on top, I want it to be able to set down on top without like banging into it. So I want it to be fairly centered. Thinking that looks good about right there. I'm actually just going to make a little mark just on the bottom, just to make sure that I glue this down in the right spot. I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom just to hold it in place. And I'm going to just, again, line it up. There. That should be good, just about like that. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making this look like rolling hills or grassy hills. And then these little bunnies are going to be sitting on these little grassy hills. Now this one I kind of already tried to shape like a little hill already. I want to show you kind of how I cut this. So this was like a square piece of foam, and I used a serrated bread knife, and I just like cut around just to make it more rounded looking on the front, so it looks like a little rounded hill. And then I cut like a small little indentation, so this is going to be like the rabbit hole right here. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my hot glue again, and I'm just going to glue this right down to my, put some hot glue on the back of the bottom of this foam, and I'm going to glue this right down onto my cardboard, just about like that. And we're going to be covering this with the moss, so you're not going to see any of this foam. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little half circles right here, because I want to kind of create like a little hill going down here. So I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to cut these into quarters. Okay, so I have a little kitchen knife, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this foam in half, and then I'm going to cut it in half again. So we're going to have 4 quarters. This stuff is super easy to cut. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just hot glue a couple of the pieces, maybe 3 of the pieces, so that it looks like there's like a little hill like this. Now if you want to shape these any more, you can kind of go ahead in and just like shape them a little bit more, just to kind of make them a little bit more, I don't know, if you didn't want them so boxy looking. You're not going to really see this, or if you wanted to like flatten them out a little bit, you could. I actually might flatten this one out a little bit more, only because I might put one of the rabbits sitting like right here. I might sit one up here, and then I might sit one right down here. Now I'm going to take some more of my foam, and I want to have something to stick my flowers in, because I'm going to have some flowers sticking out the back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my foam, and I am going to put it in the back just so that I have, I'm going to show you the back right here. And I'm going to put some hot glue on this side of one of the foam pieces. I'm going to kind of just sit that kind of just like that. All I want is just some something to stick the flowers down into. So this is what we've got going on right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to start gluing some of our moss in place. Now, this is going to be a little bit tedious because this moss is thin. The stuff at the dollar store is very thin. You can opt to buy moss at like Michael's or AC Moore or Hobby Lobby, which might be a little bit better of a consistency. This is all I had to use, so this is what I'm going to use. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start probably at the top because I want the top covered as best as possible. So I'm going to just put some glue on the top, and I'm just going to take a little bit of my moss and just stick it right on that glue. Careful you don't burn your fingers. I've burned my fingers so many times recently on my hot glue. I'm just gonna, again, just cover the whole top and sides of my foam with the moss. A little goes a long way, so you don't have to use very big pieces. You just have to make sure it's stuck down well. So I'm going to continue covering this whole thing right here with the moss. So this is all going to be moss. Okay, so I have just about the whole front and most of the sides of my little structure here covered with the moss. And it's okay if you don't get all of the sides because we'll be hiding this with some of the other floral that we have. But most of it's covered, and you can see that little rabbit hole that we have right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are now going to start working on putting some of the floral into this to kind of, you know, liven it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these pussy willow branches, and I'm actually going to cut some of the branches right off so we have some small pieces like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put some of this in the background, or maybe over on the side here. I'm just going to stick these down in to that foam that we stuck on the back. And just stick a couple of them down in here. Different heights. We'll do a few like that. One like that. So now we've got a few little of these pussy willows on one side. I might put some over here on this other side too. You guys can be super creative with how you decorate. I just like a lot of like varying heights. Whenever I do any type of decorating, I like to have varying heights. All right, so now I've got some little trees kind of sticking in the background here. I'm actually going to check it again just to make sure that I can put my lantern down on top. It's a good idea just to keep checking with whatever you're doing, just to make sure that your lantern fits. Okay. It looks like it does. Probably going to use some of this really pretty, I think this was lavender. And again, I'm probably just going to cut off some of these pieces. The scissors that I'm using are like my craft scissors, and I cut my, wire and metal with them all the time. So they're probably not the best for paper, but they're good for cutting fake flowers. So again, I'm just gonna take some of these and I'm gonna stick them right down into that foam. And you can kind of bend these too if you don't want them like really straight. You can bend them up. This is the fun part, is just like decorating. Decorating and figuring out what you like and creating a cool little scene. So you can see it's really, you've got this cute little hill and the little bunny rabbit hole, and we're gonna have the little bunnies sitting here. So it's gonna be really, really cute. So I'm gonna continue decorating with my flowers. I'll probably put, I have these flowers right here. I'll probably cut a few of these branches off because I just want this really like florally and spring looking. And then once I'm done adding all of the flowers, then I'll show you the next steps that I'm gonna take. Okay, so I've added quite a bit of flowers and it's looking really, really cute. What I'm gonna do now is this piece right here that I have was one of the bottom pieces to one of the flowers right here. If you see, where this is the piece at the bottom where I cut off. So I cut like right here on these flower picks. And so this is like this little bottom piece that's left over. So what I did was I put some hot glue on it and I just stuck some of that moss to it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use one of the little branches to glue one of my little hummingbirds to. So I'm gonna stick this little guy with a little branch. I'm gonna stick it like maybe right closer to the front so you can see it. So it looks like a little branch sticking out. And I'm gonna take my little hummingbird, or one of my little hummingbirds, out of the package. And these little hummingbirds are just on these like little, they're on these like little picks right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put some hot glue right on the bottom of this guy, and I'm gonna sit him right on that little branch. Just like that. So he's, I'll try to hold him in place here. And I'm probably gonna take the other little hummingbird and let's see, where would he look good? Maybe up in one of the flowers. Thinking. So if I stuck him kind of up in one of the flowers, I'm gonna put a little hot glue on him too, just so that he stays in this little flower. Okay, now I've got these little butterflies, and I'll probably scatter a couple of these little butterflies. I might just use one. These are also on these little like metal picks. So you could actually just wrap one of these little metal picks around the back of one of the branches that you have. Like that. So that one of your little butterflies is sitting there. That's super cute. Super duper cute. All right, I'm gonna go down and get my bunny rabbits and bring them up because they should be dry. All right, so my little bunny rabbits are all dry. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some hot glue on the bottom of one of them. And I'm gonna stick this little guy up at the top, up here, kind of just hanging out next to the little hummingbird, just like that. And then I'm gonna take my other little guy, and this little guy, what I did was I had another little bottom piece to the flower picks that I cut off. So what I did was I hot glued one to the bottom through the hole right here, and we're gonna use that to kind of prop him up down here near the front of his little rabbit hole right there. So he's kind of just like sitting there near the flowers, right at the edge of the little rabbit hole. Super, super cute. All right, so I'm mostly done with this portion. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to very carefully take my bottom piece of my lantern, and I'm gonna try to get all of these little pieces up underneath. So there we go. So we've got our lantern, our first part of our lantern down on top of our little scene here. And then we are going to take our second part of our lantern and we're going to put that on top. Again, just being very careful that we get everything inside. All right, just like that. Super cute. That is so cute. Now we can kind of go in and decorate some more with some other flowers just to kind of cover up some of the spots in the back that we don't want to see. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna make a little swag for the top of this lantern. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm actually taking two different picks of flowers, and what I did was I pulled a couple of the flowers off and like mixed them up a little. So like I pulled off one of the purples and added a pink to it just so that there's like a good assortment of flowers, and I did that for this one and I did that for this one right here. So we did two of them, and then what we're doing is I'm basically just separating. So I took 3 of the branches and pulled them one way and 3 the other way. So it looks like this, and I did that for both of these picks. Okay, so we're gonna have something that looks like this. We'll have some flowers on this side and some flowers on this side. All right, so now we're also gonna take 2 of these long ones right here, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna put a bend about like that, so that way those are going to kind of cascade down one side. Actually, that might even be a little too long. Let's try like that, and then let's cut the bottom off. Okay, that's a little bit better. So, okay, we're going to have one that's going to kind of go like this, and then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're going to kind of bend it, and then we'll just cut. So now we should have something that looks like this. I know it doesn't look like much now, but it will look better once we get it on top of the lantern. And I'm gonna take just a little bit of floral wire and wrap around this handle portion just so that these all stay in place. All right, so this is what it looks like once I've got the floral wire wrapped around it. So now we're gonna take our ribbon, and I'm gonna start with the wider ribbon. I'm gonna open up this purple. Now I know that this purple is only 9 feet, so I'll probably take all of it out. Then I'm gonna pull out some of this white polka dot ribbon, the white and pink polka dot ribbon. And I'm gonna try to pull out just about as much. I'm gonna just kind of find the center, and I'm gonna kind of pinch the center. So I've got both ribbons. I've got the thinner ribbon on top, just like that. The thinner white and pink polka dotted ribbon on top. And I'm just gonna create a loop. So I'm gonna create a loop, and I'm gonna pinch it again and pull it to the other side. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. I'm gonna create a loop and pull it back the other way, just like that, and pinch it together. And then I'm gonna repeat that. I'm gonna create another loop, pinch, pull, and another loop. Pinch, pull. Maybe one more loop. Loop, pinch, pull, and loop, pinch, pull. All right, so now we should have 3 loops of each ribbon on both sides. And I will take some more of my floral wire. I just need a little bit, and I'm just gonna wrap it around the center that I've pinched. Wrap it around a couple of times just to hold it in place. Hold that ribbon in place and then twist. Now I've got the base of my bow. So again, what we can do now is we can fluff this right up. So now we've got like a nice puffy little pretty bow. Center it right in the center of this flower arrangement that we have here. And I'm gonna take some more of my floral wire, probably another foot or so of floral wire. And I'm gonna go back around the center of my ribbon. And then I'm also gonna go around my floral arrangement here, just a couple of times. And then pull it in the back and twist. All right, so this is what we should have now. So now this is actually gonna sit on the top of our lantern. All right, guys, so here it is. It's kind of hard to see it tonight because of the lighting. I brought it down in my dining room because I usually have the best lighting in my dining room. So inside you can see that there's the little bunny rabbit kind of going into his little bunny rabbit hole. And then we have another little bunny rabbit playing with one of the little hummingbirds and all the little flowers. It's so, so, so cute. Very pretty, very springy. And then up top, I have the little arrangement of flowers that I did on the top. Like I said, I don't know if this is where I'm going to keep it because it is such a big piece. I'm thinking I'll put it out in my formal living room for spring. But the lighting in here is best, so I thought I could show it to you better in here. Kind of look down inside, you can see the little bunny rabbits and all the little flowers. Another thing that I think I might do is I have some little battery operated white lights that I might put in here and kind of just scatter them around so that at nighttime the lights can illuminate through and light up that little bunny garden. Super cute, really springy, and I'm thinking this is like perfect for Easter, especially because of the little bunny rabbits. You could actually even put some little Easter eggs in here if you wanted to for Easter, and then keep it right through the summer, really. But that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this DIY. This is a little bit more of an intricate DIY than what I normally do. It's taken a little bit longer, but I think it came out really cute. And there's just so many different ways that you can decorate with the lantern. Then if you wanted to take this scenery out, you can just pull your lantern right back off the cardboard and you could do a different scenery for a different time of year. So very versatile, very fun. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you check out my Facebook page because I always post lots of things on my Facebook page. So I hope you guys have a great night and take care.